The new presenting sponsor for OnEducation is Classcraft. Are you looking for a way to engage and connect with your students? Then this is the perfect time to try Classcraft, and we have a limited time offer to help you get started. Simply go to classcraft.com/OnEducation, and you will receive the first month free on a monthly premium subscription. To get started, go to classcraft.com/OnEducation.
Our kids, the current generation of students that we teach, are going to be the first students to live and work on Mars. Welcome to OnEducation. I'm Mike Washburn.
And I'm Glen Irvin. Friends, we have an awesome pod for you today. We will discuss the purchase of Flocabulary by Nearpod and the amazing first images of a black hole taken this week. And we have two amazing guests this week, Claudio Zavala Jr. and Amy Cooper.
So you didn't know much about Flocabulary before this week,
not
is that
before
right?
this week. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty awesome. We had a subscription at my school to Flocabulary, and I'll tell you, man, the kids love it. It's friggin' great. I used it for so there's actually free content, and it's rap videos, right? We figured it out at this point. It's rap videos. They're based on different subjects. There's all kinds of them, over 1,100 videos I think they've made now. But they also make like a week in review. So every week they release a new rap video, kind of summarizing the news of the week, which is super cool.
Very cool.
And yeah, they just got bought by Nearpod. So I assume what's going to happen is they're going to embed. I don't really know. I don't really know how Nearpod's going to like put these in or work with Flocabulary.
Yeah.
But there's all of this content now that's, I assume, going to be part of whatever subscription you pay for. When you have a Nearpod subscription, you're going to get this Flocabulary content included in that now, which just makes Nearpod way better too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Nearpod has their highest level of subscription, offers you the ability to basically use any and all of their lessons that they've pre-created. So I would imagine that they place all of these things also within it, within the platform, and then you're able to go ahead and drop those into your presentations, your slides as you actually go through them. A question about that as far as the content in Flocabulary. So there's a song as a specific topic, and then the kids sing along, or what's the what's the premise?
I mean, so no, it's basically like an animated video with a rap song, that they've made and produced. They have a music and someone to rap it. All different people. I assume they have a staff of people that just rap for them, or they get in as guests to rap for them. And all different subjects. So they have a team of writers that write based on whatever subject it is, and so they're kind of like little engagement pieces for based on content. Some of them are a little bit longer than others. Some of them are short, just a minute or two, but some of them are like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes long.
Sure.
They actually, one of the cooler pieces of content, if people didn't know this existed, is actually free and just on YouTube. They worked with Common Sense Media to do a bunch of digital citizenship rap videos, and there's one about sharing content that is free and awesome. It's super good. So I used to put that into my my lessons for digital citizenship when I was talking about social media. That was my first experience with Flocabulary, was through this Common Sense Media content. But they have all of this other stuff behind their paywall, I guess. And now it looks like it's going to be included in Nearpod. I mean, as far as Flocabulary is concerned, this is amazing for them, because Nearpod is in, I think in the article that we'll put in the show notes on this from EdSurge, Nearpod is in 97 of the 100 largest districts in the United States, as paid customers of some sort. So, there are like you, there are people who had never even heard of Flocabulary, and now I mean, their exposure is going to be through the roof.
Oh yeah, big time.
Which is so good for them. But I think so one of the things that we saw just the other day, and we'll give a shout out to Andrew Aravello, because he had his kids doing rap videos inspired by Flocabulary, and that's a really cool extension of this idea. So I think that's super cool. And it's just one way that you can take these fun little engagement pieces and extend them even further. I think this is an awesome deal for both of these folks for sure.
For sure. Absolutely. And we'll keep an eye on them as they move forward and now their partnership together, and then see how they're going to use that Flocabulary content within the Nearpod platform.
We need to get Flocabulary to do an OnEducation rap.
Absolutely. We can get him on as a sponsor. Let's jump on that.
It would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
A Flocab rap. That'd be sweet.
Yep.
Speaking of sweet, let's do some space talk. We haven't done space talk in a while, Glenn.
Well, it was huge this week. Yes.
Huge this week. So first image of a black hole is pretty unbelievable. It's hard to appreciate because it's just a picture of whatever, but the black hole itself is absolutely monstrous. What they say, I can't even remember the number, the density of it related to our sun. But I mean, this is a huge scientific achievement that proves a whole bunch of people, not the least of which Albert Einstein, to be completely correct. And is a giant scientific discovery.
Yeah, the part that I really found just personally amazing as far as within my own household was my oldest son, Lysander, was describing the process to me, because he's going to do a presentation at school about how long this actually took to make this a reality, and then how many people it took in collaboration with scientists around the world, and then how many experts including Katie Bowman, experts in computer analysis, to be able to go ahead and get these fragmented pieces of data. Because that's what, I mean, if you read this article, it's pretty awesome that they just basically have all of these pieces of broken data. They put them together and then are able to go ahead and then make an image that we can actually see. And what I didn't realize, and this was told to me by my 12-year-old son, that all of those pictures of black holes that I've seen previously were all just artists' depictions.
Yeah, not real.
I had no idea this was the first time there was actually a real photo. So pretty awesome stuff. And I actually watched her TED Talk then along with my son. Very inspiring. It was previous to this actually happening. So it's really cool how it all comes together for Katie Bowman and all of the scientists and everybody that worked on this. It's just what a fantastic achievement.
There's a couple awesome pictures, and actually I love that Katie Bowman has become like the face of this project, because both of the great pictures of this achievement have her in them. The one is when she sees the picture for the first time, and the obvious look of, excitement, joy, literally the culmination of your entire life's work in front of you is, I mean, the best. That's like the best picture. There's another picture of her though with the hard drives, and it kills me because there's 5 petabytes of hard drive space is what it took to put together this picture. And 5 petabytes, just if someone needs a fun comparison, that's 5,000 years of MP3 audio.
Wow. 5,000
years.
That's insane.
Of MP3 audio is how much 5 petabytes is. So it's 1,000 pounds of hard drives. Is what they needed to make this happen. So there's a great picture of her with I don't know if that's all of the hard drives. It's clearly not, because 1,000 pounds is way more than what she's showing in the picture, but it's pretty amazing, the accomplishment in so many levels. I'll tell you, the things we can do, man. I say it all the time, but what an achievement. So and speaking of the things we can do, the Falcon Heavy was launched. SpaceX Falcon Heavy was launched again. And this time it had actually customer product, a satellite on it. So not a test launch, a real launch. And for the first time, all 3 rockets landed, which is, I mean, again, the things we can do, it's amazing that we can, and the sight of those 2 rockets coming down at the same time and landing on the pads is just, I mean, I love that science is
becoming science fiction, back to science. Yes.
It's just amazing. And space is becoming cool again. And like the things that are happening are just mind blowing. It's such a great time. It's such a cool time. And some of my talks that I give now, I have a little bit where I talk about how our kids, the current generation of students that we teach, are going to be the first students to live and work on Mars. And, when you calculate kind of the time, we're talking about like 2030, 2035, 2040. Those are our kids, the kids that we're teaching in elementary school right now. There's no doubt that some of them are going to be living and working on Mars. And that is just an amazing thing to say and an amazing thing to think about. And it really reinforces how important our job is as educators to inspire these kids to remember that there's absolutely nothing that they can't do in the right environment with the right attitude and the right work ethic. So
transition.
That was a transition right there. I'm so excited. I didn't even know what to say next. Game of Thrones is tonight, Glen Irvin.
Yes, it is. We're recording Sunday at about 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time.
I dreamt about Game of Thrones last night.
That's awesome. Maybe you already ready. You were dreaming about the predictions here that we're gonna.
So we're gonna make some bold predictions, and one of us, or maybe both of us, are gonna look real stupid by the end of this. But it's fun anyway. So who cares? So we have a couple questions. We're gonna go through them, and kind of talk to them a little bit, and we'd love for you to participate. So not only will some of these bold predictions be in Chat on Education this week, but even though it's not related to Chat on Education, it's related to the podcast, and we can do whatever we want because it's our chat. What's up? So there's not only that, but we want you to just chime in. So on Twitter, get after us if you don't agree with us, and give us
razzes if we're wrong.
Sure, give us your bold predictions as well. Okay, so I'm up first. How creepy does Bran get? Because I mean, his creep level is pretty high.
The eyes rolling behind his head.
Oh my god, like it's intense. Is he a tree by the end of the show?
He's one of those trees with the kind of the blood seeping out of them, or whatever it might be, instead of sap.
Like, is he a literal tree, or is he just like really, really super creepy? Because that's what he's supposed to turn into at some point, right? Is a tree of some sort or something like that, right? Or
a bird or whatever he is. He's the three-eyed raven or something like that. I would not be surprised if he was a tree by the end of the show.
That's like the second last scene is Bran just, waving in the wind somewhere, north of the wall, or I don't know where he'll be, but, I don't know. He won't be involved in it. He's just going to go off into his own little world, do his own little tree thing. And he's going to be like, there's a war happening, but
I'm not involved.
or he's like super involved maybe, and he's like the guy that ends it all because he has whatever these powers are.
He's got some powers, and they're mystical, and they're growing. So who knows what kind of things he might be able to do to that Ice King.
Cool. Now I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking Bran, creepy Bran might be the savior.
Might be the savior to the whole kingdom.
Boy, oh boy. Does Brienne hook up with Jaime?
No way.
Really?
I saw that on the thing. I'm like, come on.
You don't think so?
She's going to hook up with the, what's that guy's name? The big guy with the burned off face.
The Hound.
The Hound. Yes, you go. There you go. The Hound and Brienne. That's my prediction.
Yeah. So not Jaime.
No way.
They won't. Nothing. Eh. Okay.
No way. He'll touch her with his creepy gold hand. Jamie's in love with his sister, so yes.
funny. I think Brienne's going to hook up with Jamie.
Okay. Well,
We'll
that's
see.
that's a bold prediction.
Bold prediction.
Yes. So the next one of the big names. So we have these huge names.
Yes.
Who dies first? So both, I think me and you agree there's going to be someone that dies tonight.
Someone has to die tonight.
Episode 1, at least one person, but who's the first one to go ahead and die? And what's your prediction?
Well, because of quantity, right?
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's probably, in the show, there's probably 20 big names.
Yes.
Like, some are bigger than others, but there are 20 names that you can, like, think of.
Probably, yeah. I'm trying to think
half
of
them.
like,
half of them are going to kick the bucket.
I'm thinking about super big names, so like the top 10.
Like the Starks and
Yes. So,
but
because other people are going to die, and I don't think they're considered to be, well, but anyway, you can throw out a prediction. Who do you think?
So I think I would love it if Clegane Bowl happened tonight, like right at the start, the Mountain and the Hound just going at each other. Clegane Bowl would be the dream come true, and at the end, it's the Hound standing over top of his brother, with redemption and whatever, and I think that would be epic. That's going to happen at some point. At some point, Clegane Bowl is happening. The Hound versus the Mountain, it's happening, and the Mountain is going down.
Yes.
Obviously.
I'm giving you a bold prediction. Actually, I don't think any of the really, really big names will die tonight. Okay. That's the first thing. But the first big character that will die. Are you ready for this? Arya Stark. She's going to die. Yes. Because no one wants it to happen. And she's such an awesome character and an awesome person. I think that episode 2 or 3, something's going to happen. She's going to get killed in a brutal scene, and we're all going to be sad.
Arya Stark.
Yes. That's my bold prediction right there.
Wild.
Yes.
So we know Cersei is going down at some point. It might be right at the end, but again, she's another one that is obviously got to die.
Yes.
How much of the world does she take out in the process?
So I mean, that's funny, like a funny concept.
Like she will not go down without a fight.
Yeah. I mean, she already had such a huge scene though, That's the in the last season where she blows everything up and everyone included in there. I don't know if she'll go down like that. I think that it might be a little bit. Actually, you know what would be awesome is a one-on-one battle with her and Daenerys. Oh baby, no dragons, no extra help. They just are sitting there with swords and they go at it.
I don't know.
1v1.
I don't think Daenerys can win a fight versus Cersei 1v1.
I don't know.
Interesting. I suspect that she goes down in a blaze of glory somehow
and blows up the entire
I don't know, maybe the whole Red Keep or something like that.
Yep.
There's got to be.
She's good at that.
I just don't see her going down without taking someone with her.
Yeah.
Maybe this is how like someone else dies. Maybe this is how like your Arya Stark thing happens, or even though that being said, I don't think Cersei dies early. I think she dies in like episode 5 or maybe even right at the end of 6. Like that's kind of the end.
Yeah.
But interesting stuff. So who will be the winner? Who wins Game of Thrones?
Good question. I was trying to think of like, how will this all end? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how will this all go down? And my colleagues and I have a prediction that they're going to, that dragon that's now an ice dragon?
Yes.
Jon Snow's going to lure that dragon back because he's basically undead, right? And now there's going to be Jon Snow, Daenerys riding a dragon. But the question is, who will ride that third dragon? Because, you got to have a dragon rider. So
Tyrion Lannister.
Yes, got to be him. Got to be Tyrion because he was petting the dragons and they were actually not. They were friendly with him, which is weird. Yeah. So it would be there. As far as who's in the end, I mean, I'm hoping that Daenerys and Jon Snow are there ruling the kingdom together. I mean, that's what we all want. We'll see what happens.
I mean, that seems like that's what's going to happen. And then Tyrion becomes like hand of the king, and that's how it all ends.
Yeah.
Them all kind of looking out into the burning city of Westeros, or the burning city, as you know, the Cersei took out as she was going down, and you know, they're like, we got to rebuild now, or something like that.
Yeah,
and then that's
what we all want. But we'll see.
So yeah, friends. So there's some bold predictions. Game of Thrones starts tonight. Everyone should watch it, and then give us some feedback. Give us their own. Obviously, by the time you're listening to this Sunday, the episode has already happened. So at least maybe I'll be wrong right away if Clegane Bowl doesn't happen. But someone's dying tonight, so we'll just see who it is, and then we'll be able to talk about it, and it'll be pretty damn exciting. Everyone's pumped. At least
we're gonna break the internet tonight. That's what's gonna happen.
At least Glenn and I are pumped, and this is our podcast. So
I think there's a lot of people pumped. This is gonna break a lot of records,
yes,
especially of pirating records.
lots of text messages in Twitter chats tonight. Yes. I suspect.
Oh yeah.
So we have 2 amazing interviews coming up back to back. We do this every once in a while, and it's just kind of lucked out. We're going to talk to Claudio Zavala Jr., and then we'll be joined by Dr. Amy Cooper, so stay tuned.
Do you have plans to attend the ISTE conference this summer? Come one day early and participate in the Best Hidden Gem conference in the United States. Badge Summit 2019 will take place on the Temple University campus in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on June 22nd. There will be lots of wicked smart educators to collaborate with on topics such as digital badges, credentials, gamification, and more. To learn more about Badge Summit, simply visit bit.ly/Badge Summit.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. We're thrilled to be joined today by Claudio Zavala Jr. Claudio is an instructional technology coordinator at Duncanville Independent School District in Texas. He's a well-known educational creator and expert on all things design. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
So to start out, why don't you share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and your background in education a little bit?
Sounds good. So right now I'm based, I say right now, for the 13 years I've been here in Texas. That's where I'm based now. And originally I'm from California, grew up and raised in southern sunny San Diego. And people ask, why did you move? And I say, well, it's the cost of living. Have to raise some kids. Food is very different here. I miss the Southern California, like taco style, but it's still good. So I, let's see, for about 13 years, I was in the classroom, taught bilingual class, English immersion class for those 13 years, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade mainly. And then for the last 10 or so years, I've been doing like anything from ed tech training, instructional technology, working with teachers in the classroom, helping them integrate tech into their lessons, and then whatever other jobs that are not listed on the job description.
Yeah, there's always those.
So that's cool. So I mean, I've everything that I'm a musician, love photography, like video. So everything that's like part of me or what I do is something that I try to integrate somehow into whatever I do, sharing with teachers or in the classroom.
Brad. So there's not many people out there right now with a better handle on creativity tools than you. And so I want to ask you about some of your other favorite tools in a second. We're gonna get to those, like the big ones. But I'm curious if there's a tool that's underrated. What's out there that some people might not know a lot about?
So I've got a list of several here. So I'll pick a few here. One that is a pretty slick little app. It's made by GoPro. It's called Quick. And I don't think a lot of people know that that's there. And I guess because you think you have to have a GoPro to use it, but in fact, you don't have to have it. I don't know if it's Android and iOS. I have iOS one. But basically you drop in your video clips. Yeah. And Quick, basically that's what it is. It's Quick. It'll put all your videos together, and you just pick like a theme. It puts a soundtrack for you. You just kind of go through and like, oh, I like this one. I don't like this one. And then it has your audio in it. It has a music track. And then you just export it. And basically that's what it is. It's just to get something put together quick. that you can share it on social media or put it on your website. So it's one of those ones where it's like, I think it's not known by many that it's there, and it's pretty easy to use. And
That's awesome.
some other one here that I've played with some time ago, and it's one of those where I kind of go back and forth, and seeing that we're seeing a lot of the AR, VR, and this is not, I don't think it's really AR or VR per se, but it's like 3D. So it's called, and I hope I pronounce it right, FYUSE, FYUSE.
Okay.
And basically what you do is you'll put an object, and you could even put an object on a table, or even you can be outside, and you tap on the screen, and it takes like a wireframe of it, and you kind of either walk around the object recording it, or put in like on a round table or something like that. And basically you're creating kind of like a scan around the object, almost like if you were doing like a 3D print of something.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. So it's kind of combining video and photo together. So it kind of just puts it all together. So you share it with someone, and then they'll turn their phone or just kind of swipe their phone, and you can see the front and the back of the object that you're taking. So it's pretty cool little app.
Very cool.
And then one more here that I kind of enjoyed using lately. It's called Pikazo, Pikazo. And it's kind of funny because it almost sounds like Picasso, the artist. But basically you drop in your photos, and it gives you all these different artist filters.
Oh, cool.
And so like the other day, what was I doing?
Cool.
I forget what that piece. It looks like the Scream character.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my mind just goes blank. So you can adjust how much of that filter gives to your photo. So basically, converts your photo almost like to a little art piece.
Oh, love that. Cool. Yes. Yeah. Really good creative tool for kids.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, it gives them that like, hey, look, I'm making a piece of art. So those are like my maybe underrated ones that people really don't know about. But I would say go check those out. Really cool tools that you can create quickly, easily, and I think anybody can use it.
So let's talk about another tool that I know you are by far an expert of. I would consider you be one of the most innovative users of the Flipgrid platform. And now that it's free, most teachers are aware, I believe, of what the basic uses of it are. That students can quickly record, teacher can listen in on those recordings. But can you share some of those ideas for those that want to push beyond the boundaries of their classroom using a tool like Flipgrid?
Oh yeah, Flipgrid is an amazing app, and you can use it on any device, which is great. One of the features, and it's constantly being updated. So that's one of the things is you start playing with it and like, oh, there's something new. A couple of things that, and I don't know if people know about this, but the mixtape option that you have in Flipgrid, basically, those of us old school, we used to put a cassette tape and mix all these songs together. So you're kind of creating a mixtape of all the different responses that either your students or teachers have replied to one of your questions or prompts, and you'll put it up onto this page, which is called a mixtape of all these different responses. And then basically you click play, and it goes through every single one of the responses. So it just kind of loops through it. You don't have to press like go to the next screen, which is great. I've been at presentations where I needed something to just scroll through responses, and I had to drop it in like to a video editor, put it together. Well, put those clips there and just let it play. It's great for like open house, just kind of meet and greet type things. So you just let it play and people can go and watch. So that's something that you might want to check out if you haven't played with the mixtapes. Another great way of connecting with educators through Flipgrid is using their Grid Pals option. So when you log in, there's a menu option that says Grid Pals.
Yeah.
Say I'm teaching Spanish, high school Spanish, and I want to connect with another Spanish teacher in a different state, even in a different country.
Yeah.
So you look through this map and see where everyone's located, and you can put in your kind of like your credentials. I teach Spanish, high school, and it'll show you everyone else who is connected with Flipgrid who teaches that same subject.
That's amazing.
And you can connect with them, say, hey, I'm interested in doing this project. Would you be willing to connect my class with your class? Most of the times it's going to be yes, because everybody who's kind of put their information there is like wants to connect with someone else.
Absolutely.
And I think it's great. Even I've seen folks use it where I'm teaching Spanish here in the States, and I connect with a teacher, say in in Mexico or South America somewhere that's teaching English.
Nice.
And so we're,
great idea.
They're teaching us Spanish, they're teaching us English, and vice versa. So it's a great way. That's a great way to connect. And they'll do it through Flipgrid or use like Skype or Google Hangouts. One of the another I've seen this done is using Flipgrid. This is pretty cool. So I'm kind of going to go with like the music here, the singing or something like that. I've seen choirs do this, and it's either do auditions. Say, for example, like, I want to audition for a part.
Yes.
Either for a musical or even for a drama. And to say, hey, just record yourself auditioning. And teachers, if they say there's hundreds of students, they can watch all the students.
It's a really
maybe even practice their musical piece. Maybe there's an exam, or I want to see how my students are doing playing this piece of music, and so they can set their camera or phone and then record their piece, and then the teacher can watch and give a reflection on their students' work. So there's a couple of little ideas there that, beyond just like, hey, respond to the question. There's so many ways that you can connect with. I really like the connectivity piece of it, connecting with other educators and connecting your students, not just in your same building, but all over the world, really, in reality.
It's very, very cool. So let's talk about another pretty popular tool that you talk about a lot, and that's Adobe Spark. So Adobe Spark seems to be becoming a go-to for creative teachers. Talk about what you can do with Spark. Where do its strengths lie, and what you love specifically about Spark?
So if you're not familiar with Adobe Spark, there's a series of 3 apps that you can download on your phone or on your computer. You can choose either one of these 3: Post, which you can create graphics; Video, you can create some really short, quick videos; and then Page, creating a one-page website. What I love about all these apps in general is they've taken design features that professionals use. Adobe is like one of the leading products for that in the industry of design, graphic design, movie industries. And they've taken a lot of these features and brought them down to folks, teachers, students that don't have I didn't go to school for graphic design. I went to school to become a teacher, and there wasn't there wasn't a graphic design class for teachers. So it gives everyone the ability to create professional looking content that almost rivals what someone would create in a design agency. And anyone can do it. Students can create it, teachers. And what I like about it too is the ability, if you have Adobe for EDU, Adobe Spark for EDU.
Yeah.
And what that does, there's a little bit of a setup in the background that like the network people have to do. And what it does, it gives K-12 and I believe higher ed as well, the premium features that are available in Spark. And premium features include branding of content.
Nice.
And then also the ability when you're looking for images, photos, you can use all these free images, but it also filters it based on age level as well. So,
fantastic.
High school students will see different content than lower age students. So if they're looking for a picture, say of a beach, something won't come up that's, may seem like not inappropriate, but it's more art, then
sure,
it'll be kind of filtered for the lower ones. But what I love about that is it gives the student, this is what huge thing for me is it gives students not just, and teachers as well, the ability to brand their content, to create kind of their identity, which I think is a great way for someone to tell their story, to say who they are. So you can add your own little logo, and I think is great to help students like, hey, this is who you are. Create a little piece,
cool,
your signature or something, and drop it on your content. And one of the things that's huge, that's big right now is people using content that's someone else's and then not giving them credit. Well, it's a great way for students to kind of put their name on put their stamp on something and say, hey, it becomes viral. Hey, I created it. That's my creation. That's my piece. And so it's easy to use. One of those what you see is what you get tools, whether you're doing the post, video, or page, is basically drag an image, drop it here, and you tell it what to do. There's no coding involved. and literally in seconds you can, I'll say seconds, maybe minutes, you can create an awesome looking website. Within minutes you can create an awesome little short video, and then within minutes create amazing graphics that you can share anywhere.
So Claudio, one of the things that I have in common with you is just this passion for music, singing. And you actually took this passion and came up with this amazing idea to connect educators in a unique challenge called Sing a Song. Tell us more about that idea and how we can participate.
Yeah, this was this. In fact, this just past 2 years that this started.
Wow.
That I cannot believe it's still going after 2 years. Thousands and thousands, literally, of teachers and students have viewed songs, people singing on this Sing a Song Flipgrid. So what I did, like I said, 2 years ago, I was driving my car, and it's kind of funny to listen to music in the car. But actually, I'm kind of a news junkie. I like listening to news. But then at that time, everything was just like, oh man, it's just depressing. And families arguing at each other. Couples and spouses and friends, people that had always been friends for years, like, you know what, this stuff is like breaking us apart. And I was like, I need something that brings us together. And so music, I've always enjoyed music. Like I said, I'm a musician all my life, and music is just one of those things. It's a universal language that we can all speak. And I was like, let's do something to bring us together. And that's basically what it was. What would happen if we all would just sing a song together? That was my question. I posted it on Twitter, and a good friend of mine said, hey, you should try Flipgrid. Let's use Flipgrid. I said, well, what's Flipgrid? All right, let me post this question. I did one of those things that made myself very vulnerable. As I sang a song on this Flipgrid and posted it on Twitter, and I was like, man, people were like, oh, you're a terrible singer. Or this, and I said, you know what? Who cares? I have to take this leap, and so I posted it, and then like wildfire, just like all of a sudden, just started coming in. People responding. The crew from Flipgrid were on there; they were singing songs as well, and then it's just amazing how we were able to get all these teachers to sing. And I've had one teacher say, like, Claudio, I've never sung in front of people in all my life. This is the first time ever doing this. And they did amazing. And I was like, I replied to them, but that's what's great, because you can respond to other people. I was like, you did amazing. And then people were like, hey, can my students sing? And I'm like, yes, have your students sing on it. So I've got many students that from high school, elementary. This was the awesome thing. This blew me away. So I have a friend that I connected through Flipgrid. She's from Australia.
Yeah. And
her students love to sing a song. They're like, they would literally practice all week to sing on Friday. And it was funny because we were at ISTE last year, and she goes, you know what, Claudio, I asked my students, like, what was the most life-changing thing that we did all year? And she's like, and they said, sing a song. They were like, wow. I couldn't believe it. They said, sing a song. I'm like, well, I said, that's awesome. She goes, yeah, but I wanted them to say like something else we did in class, but sing a song. Can you believe it? It made me crack up. But, and I think it's one of those things where I want to bring people together, put things to the side, and there's something that we can have in common and get together and enjoy and have a good time. And that's really what that was about. It's just coming together, singing a song, and just having a good time. And amazing. I think your question is how can people get to participate? And this is open for anyone. So if you're listening, by all means, come on and sing a song. So if you can actually find it by going to this website, is all spelled out, #singasong.com. Okay. So spell out hashtag, don't put the little pound sign, because it won't work. But #singasong.com, and just jump in there and have at it. Have fun singing a song.
So Game of Thrones is back today.
Oh my goodness, yes.
This is Sunday, and we know you're a fan, and Glenn and I are pretty big fans. Yeah. We're actually we just went through a list of questions earlier. So we're going to ask you one of the questions. We won't pressure you on all of them. So who dies first? We know. Listen, we know that like half the big names are going to kick the bucket at some time. Who dies first? I think someone's dying tonight. Man. I don't know. Well, I have a sense that someone's biting it tonight, and I just want to know who dies first.
Oh my gosh! Oh man, this is
great.
The names are running through my mind right now. I know who. There's probably people that you want to die.
Yes. Who do you want to die the most?
Oh my gosh! They're like, that's bad, Claudio. Yes, I mean, I hope I say her name right. Like Circe.
Yeah,
Circe.
Circe. I'm like, man, she is so
evil.
Like, yeah, it's like, man, but she's probably not going to be one that dies. John already had come back.
Yes, he can't die again.
Yeah, I can't die twice. Man, the names are probably going to be like, I'm going to ruin the names, but I'm like, man, he can't die.
I think Circe's going to die. I just don't think she dies first.
Yeah, no, I don't think she dies today.
And she's taking the whole world with her too.
If anything, it's going to be, but I like his character. I can't remember his name. He was John's buddy, kind of the heavy-set guy.
Oh, yeah. That would be brutal if he died. What's his name?
Yeah.
The Maester.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, we know who you mean.
Yeah.
He was the one that helped cure the guy from that rock disease, whatever he had to.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. That might be one of those ones where like,
that'd be a brutal early death. That would actually set the tone pretty well for a vicious season.
But I don't know if they'll do. I know someone's going to die, but I don't know if. Man, I wonder if anyone will die today. I don't know.
Someone's gotta die.
Well, it's got to be cinematic.
Is it like 6 episodes this season?
6, I think. Yeah.
Is it 6 or something?
Yeah. And each one is like a feature-length film.
There's a lot of people that got to kick the bucket, man.
Yeah,
so I mean, you got to get to it.
Okay, well, he's gonna be my guess.
Oh man,
he's gonna be my guess.
If he does, man, that's a big call. Yes,
that's a solid prediction.
Yeah.
So Claudio, how can people connect with you either through social media or on your website?
They can find me at my website. It's iamclaudius.com, like Claudius Caesar. And you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Claudio Zavala Jr. Either of those. That's where I'm pretty much active is Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, Claudio Zavala Jr. Thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was great. Really enjoyed it.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. We're thrilled to have on the show today Dr. Amy Cooper. Amy is a second grade teacher in St. Anthony, New Brighton, an author and an expert on digital badging, credentials, and, tons of other things. Welcome to the podcast, Amy.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So why don't you start by sharing a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and your background, I guess, in education.
Okay, great. So I've been in education for 15 years, ranging from kindergarten to higher ed, but primarily in grades K through 3. Recently, I obtained my doctorate in leadership, inquiry, and transformation through Concordia, Portland, Oregon.
So, Amy, let's talk about badges. And unfortunately, lots of educators still view them as like those little traditional stickers that we used to get when, at least when I was in elementary school. Tell our audience about what badges really are in education and how they can promote student choice and voice and even scaffold learning.
Yes, definitely. It is unfortunate that there's a misunderstanding because they're such an amazing tool to use in the classroom. A lot of it, I think, comes from the philosophy that the teacher has. There really needs to be a belief that students are an integral part of their learning, and that the process of their learning, that the child is at the center of their learning, and that teachers view the need for intrinsic engagement where students are really invested in going after their grades and they care about that whole process. So badges, in case viewers haven't heard of them or aren't as familiar with badging as we are, it's a physical, you can have a physical or an electronic representation of a skill or an achievement. And students can show that they're learning in a variety of ways. So a student could attach a video, a voice, picture evidence, whatever might resonate with that student, or depending on what the teacher is requiring, the student show their learning.
So we talk a lot about, actually we've talked to Noah, the guys on the show various times about badges. And we also know that some teachers are overwhelmed by the concept of them, how to even get started. There's so many free sites out there that can help you create and track them. Any of those specifically that you would recommend for them to go ahead and use, or even, some words of wisdom of how to go ahead and get started with badging as far as in their classrooms?
Absolutely. Yes, it can feel very overwhelming. And my biggest suggestion, now that I'm back in the classroom and actually doing it myself, and even beginning to feel a bit overwhelmed starting it, I think the best place to go is just look at what you're already doing in the classroom. That could be a lot of teachers. Many teachers use Seesaw as a electronic portfolio. And Seesaw doesn't specifically state that they're using badging, but as students are engaging in any type of project, you're able to go in and look at the specific skill and attach that to whatever the children uploaded into their electronic portfolio. So I think that's the best way to get going, is just say, oh, am I already using Seesaw? Or there's, different programs teachers use. It could be Res Kids. It could be Newsomatic. There's different things teachers might be using electronically. And I would just say, just start by doing that and saying, well, this student has already showed that they know how to do 2-digit addition on Seesaw. Could I already attach that skill instead of offering them a paper copy test? They've explained their learning in a video. So why spend the time, giving them an extra test if you already have that evidence in some way in your classroom?
Awesome. So I've recently left the classroom, and I'm spending a decent amount of time reflecting on my time at school. And I've mentioned it on the podcast a little bit, and I'm working on a blog post, kind of, I don't want to call them regrets, just reflections on the path not taken. And I bring that up because you recently, you left the classroom for a few years, and then you recently returned. So you're on the other side of this now. And I'd love to hear about your experience with that. How were the first few days, the first few weeks? And coming back, what do you think what did you make sure you did differently than you had done before you left?
Absolutely. Well, leaving the classroom for a couple of years to primarily devote my time to research did offer a lot of time to reflect and, I guess, dream in a sense. Because when you're in the daily grind of, you have 25 young lives and everything attached to that, you often leave the opportunity to say, boy, it would be so cool if I could try this and dream. So I had the time to research, reflect, and kind of dream about the type of lessons I might want to do when I go into the classroom. And then I have the reality going back into the classroom, which was an intimidating feeling, heading back into the classroom after being away for 2 years. I was hoping it would be like getting on a bike and riding again. And it did. It turned out that that's how things worked. And there were definitely some things that I got rid of. One of them was just my feelings related to teaching and that relationship of, we have standards we're expected to teach. And sometimes we go by the book to meet those standards. And we're not meeting the needs of our students. I wasn't meeting the needs of my students. Instead, I was looking at the curriculum first and the student next. When I went back into the classroom, I decided I want to look at exactly who my students are. Who's my audience? Who am I teaching to? And what do these children need? So when I went back, I put a lot of choice into all of their projects, and wanted to have student voice involved. And really, we talk about ditching the book, but really that's what I did, is ditch the book and said, okay, there's these standards that we have. First, what do my students need? And how can I make that learning engaging and interesting and fun and lively? and the standards will fall into place when that's there. For example, I'm having my students pick out one thing, anything they're interested in, and create that passion project. And then they show their learning in any way they want. That's where I did the badging, or, the skilling out, is they show their learning, the Venus flytrap, for example. Well, I can attach the standards in second grade to all of those areas. So first letting them lead their learning, and then worrying about the standards after.
It's amazing. I love, and you've kind of spoke to this a little bit, so that's great. I love how hands-on your class seems to be. What is it about these sort of activities, crafts, and you do a lot of making, like a lot of building things, and the like, that appeals to you? And what do you find your students, or do you find your students enjoy these tasks? And I'll be honest, I just, from looking at the pictures and watching the videos, your class just seems like a lot of fun. And I think that fun has to come first in a lot of cases, because if kids aren't having fun, they're not going to be engaged, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I tend to try to offer choice. So let's say we're doing a lesson on measurement. I'll say, if you want to, you have the option to do this worksheet, or you can decide to plan and create a blueprint for a treehouse using measurement, and then show your learning in that way. So the students are deciding how they want to show their learning on any specific area. And I want them engaged. The hope is that they'll leave the day and they'll be like, that was an awesome day. I want to go back. I want to be here. I'm excited to be in class.
So Amy, if our audience wants to connect with you to maybe share some ideas or be able to go ahead and collaborate on something, what's the best way for them to be able to connect with you?
Yeah, I would say Twitter. So at Amy Cooper 100. If they follow me on Twitter or want to message about anything, I'd love to connect. I'm on LinkedIn as well. And I have a blog, just drcooper.blog.
Awesome. Very cool. Dr. Amy Cooper, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to OnEducation. My name is Mike Washburn. My co-host is Glen Irvin. Want to get in touch with us? Check out our website at oneducationpodcast.com. You can tweet us at oneducationpod. Glenn is at Irv Spanish on Twitter. I can be found on Twitter at Mr. Washburn. You can find us on Facebook by visiting facebook.com/oneducationpod. If you're enjoying the show and think others would too, we'd love if you shared it with them. Please leave us a rating or review in the Apple Podcast or Google Play Store. When you leave a rating, it gives our rankings a boost, and this helps others discover the show. We want to thank our presenting sponsor, Schoology, for supporting us. Check out Schoology.com to learn how they can help you advance what's possible. Thanks as always for listening. Stay awesome, and we'll see you soon.